But if you're saying that I don't see a change, that is precisely why you must vote for change. They must look at their qualification and say that I went to school, this is what I have, but I'm unable to get a job because jobs are being given to friends, jobs are being given to associates. Where crime is identified, crime must be dealt with as crime, and we must continue to love one another and ensure that we develop our nation.
Hey folks, welcome to Creating a Better Africa. My name is Kabile Linus, as you know, your everyday host. Joining me today is the University of Limpopo Student Representative Council, Khutso Mamabolo. Welcome back. Yes, I have to say welcome back because you've been here.
Thank you for having me once again.
Yeah, and I really appreciate what you do. Like, whatever position you are holding, you make sure you utilize resources because we can literally see the impact that you're creating. And I just want to commend you for that.
Sure, thank you so much. That's the least we can do.
Yeah, perfect.
For us. I think that's what we are elected to do. As leaders, we just have to continue serving.
Sure.
Yeah.
The only a little mini fear that I have is that how is this one going to be? You remember the last one that we had, the interview, the chat was very timeless and relevant. So I hope this one is going to be much more better.
A little bit of changes here and there, but...
yeah, of course.
Yeah, times have changed a little.
Of course. So could you please share your upbringing with us?
Well, I was mainly raised by my grandmother.
Okay.
My parents were based in Gauteng to make ends meet.
Sure.
So I grew up in Ratoga, studied here in Mountain View, Mankweng Unit B. I'm a local boy, so from there then went to the University of Limpopo, and I'm still based there even now. So nothing has changed. I'm a little bit worried that I'm starting to get too comfortable with my surrounding. It appears that I don't want to move to another place.
Yeah.
I grew up well. I didn't have issues growing up, friends and everything else. Can't say I was bullied. It was just part of growing up. You just have to learn, and you know there are going to be people who just try to be problematic.
Sure.
But I don't have any kind of regrets, except for some of the decisions that I made while I was still a teenager.
Of course, it happens, like, I think, to almost everyone.
Yeah. But everything was fine.
Okay, so what makes you unconventional?
Well, I think that I really just don't conform to what is normal and what most of my peers do. I think I'm very different, but from my observation, in a good way. Not a lot of things excite me that excite young people. Part of the reason why I would say that I'm unconventional is because some of my interest is not really what young people are interested in. And I'm doing my best to ensure that at least young people can have a different perspective of life and try to focus on the most meaningful things, especially in a country like South Africa where young people in general are found isolated in as far as the economy is concerned, in as far as decision making is concerned. So I try by all means to just ensure that we incorporate young people into the key decisions and the most important things that happen in the country.
Yeah. And now you're creating major impact with the SRC.
Well,
Congratulations once again on being inaugurated as the SRC President.
No, thank you.
This is for you for the inauguration and stuff, but you'll have it later.
Okay, no, thank you.
It's cute, guys. You know that.
I wonder what's inside.
You'll know, don't worry. So, but like, how was the moment for you?
Being inaugurated?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to explain it, but it was just a moment of great honor because it's something that I've been looking forward to.
Yeah.
I think I joined student politics in 2018, late 2018. And I always wanted to lead in the SRC, but you know that politics in general is just a contested space.
Sure.
And some of your ambitions, your political ambitions may not necessarily come true. So you have to continue pushing and gain the support of your people and ensure that you ultimately get to succeed in your ambitions. So I did that throughout the years, and ultimately in 2023, that's when we elected into office. And it's something that I've always looked forward to, and we can only improve from the position to ensure that even when we are done, we look forward to much greater things.
Yeah.
But it was a moment of great honor, and I was very privileged to be one to spearhead the SRC and lead the students of the University of Limpopo and the community of Mankweng in general.
To just make impact.
Sure.
So when you talk about pushing and everything, that tells me about perseverance. And there's a quote that says, "Great works are performed not by strength but by perseverance."
Sure.
So in resonance, how would you define perseverance, like personally?
Well, for me personally, I think it is just your ability to just soldier on, regardless of whatever challenges that you may be encountering in life. Life is not easy, man. I think people just think that life is easy when they see people being successful.
Sure.
They don't really understand the story behind it. Like I was telling you, even with my journey towards being the president of the SRC that I started in 2018.
Sure.
There are challenges politically that were there. Some of them made us to, in a way, start to think that is this thing really meant for us or not. So when you persevere, you just say that there's an ultimate end goal that one must achieve. So the best way possible is to ensure that you continue to push through.
Sure.
Whether it's through pain or whatever, the challenges that you encounter, you just try to find ways in ensuring that you ultimately get to overcome the challenges and get to your end goal. There is no smooth sailing journey unless if maybe you are 100% privileged. Even some of the most privileged people, they do encounter challenges. So you just have to ensure that throughout your journey, you expect challenges and you find a way of dealing with them and you soldier on, regardless of how difficult it may be for you.
Sure. So how is the term going, and please share your best fundamental highlights in the term?
I think so far the term has been going well, but there are challenges that we are encountering, most particularly when it comes to NSFAS, because NSFAS is just something that will seek to derail you from serving the students properly, because the main focus is there. We understand that students need financial assistance in order for them to focus on their studies properly. Now, when there are challenges relating to the National Students Financial Aid Scheme, as the SRC, we have to intervene to the best interest of the students. And in that process, some of the things may be lagging behind. When you enter the SRC, you must have a plan of action that you adopt as the SRC and you live up to it. Now, if our plan of action is to say that in the month of, for example, March, we are going to do the following, and in that month, there is an issue with NSFAS that will require you to possibly visit them, protest, and the likes, you are going to be derailed from achieving the things you sought to achieve. Because in our plan of action, we will never have NSFAS. NSFAS has nothing to do with the SRC. It is just a body that is entrusted with the responsibility of giving students their allowances. But if there are challenges as a result of that, we have to then look at those particular challenges. And some of your things may be lagging behind. So the NSFAS issue has been there for a very long time, and it is derailing us. But are continuing to soldier on. Regardless of that, we are proceeding with our plan of action. There are initiatives, especially this month of May and the previous month of April. We've been having our activities rolling to ensure that we serve students to the best of our ability. Even now, before we came here, there's an event that is taking place on campus, disability awareness, just to make the society of UL and the community in general more aware of the needs of people who are living with disabilities. So that is what we are doing as well as the SRC. We are continuing to provide the sanitary towels each and every month to the students who may be in need. And just now we are going to be proceeding with continuing to give students food parcels. And even when it comes to examinations, they'll continue to get meals before they write the examinations. Just among other things that we are doing as the SRC, there was an academic literacy workshop that took place to just foster academic success in general. And very soon we are going to have our very first, I don't know if it has happened or not, but our very first academic excellence awards, to just ensure that we make students to focus solely on education.
An injection for strength and confidence to do
absolutely well. And we want to also invite the people who did not necessarily do well to come and experience how it is when we are going to be rewarding the students who are performing well academically, and want to give them great prizes to ensure that even others can be motivated and say that there is a prize for being a student, there's a prize for performing well academically. That is what we assist with as the SRC now.
No, I hope you really do well with that movement. It's a good, perfect, beautiful movement, and everyone needs to be inspired.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So if you're still tuned in, guys, I'm still with the SRC of University of Limpopo, Khutso Mamabolo. So I want to ask you personally as a leader, because like now you did mention about something about NSFAS giving you hiccups here and there. But personally as a leader, what challenges transpire and how do you subdue them?
Well, not major challenges. I think everything just requires planning, if we're being honest.
Sure.
If you plan your things accordingly, there are minimal chances of you getting challenges on the way.
Sure.
But of course, when you have challenges, you just have to go back to the team, particularly in the SRC. If there's a challenge, you don't have to deal with it as an individual. You go back to the team and say that
yeah.
we're experiencing this kind of an issue. Because one thing that the SRC has made me to realize is that there is power in dealing with things as a collective.
Unity. Yeah.
You may undermine certain people, you think that maybe they are quiet, they don't speak, but immediately when you create a conducive environment for them to express themselves, that's when you are able to see that these people have great ideas.
Potential and stuff.
Absolutely, that you can be able to use to just come up with nice things in the SRC. Even our plan of action, it was not a view of the president, it was a view of the entire collective. So even with the challenges that we're experiencing, we always go back to the collective and say that this is what we're experiencing, and then we quickly just come up with the proposed solutions to that.
Sure.
Some of the solutions, sometimes they don't work, we just have to accept yeah, you just have to just accept that maybe you failed in a certain thing, but you just continue.
Sure.
But more often than not, we are able to just push through and ultimately succeed.
And I just want to continue wishing you well in running the term until the end.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I think we do need that. It's just a certain space where one needs to focus.
Yeah. And we are rooting for you all, guys. We must continue teaming up, uniting. Talking about uniting, I quote you on something like Africa must unite or perish. Please unpack that.
Well, the unity of Africa, it's beyond long overdue. It's something that even when you look at how things are transpiring now, you just ask yourself if we'll ultimately get there, because it appears as if most of the leaders in Africa are not really interested in forging unity. But there is a great level of confidence that we are getting from young leaders like Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso and Mamadou Doumbouya of Mali, who are trying to, in a way, decolonize fully and move away from the French dominance and ensure that Africa becomes a united continent. And even here in South Africa, we know of leaders like Julius Malema who are doing their ultimate best to ensure that we love our African brothers. That is something that we will always preach. We should not categorize crime with foreign nationals who are coming from African countries. Crime is crime in general. If crime is committed by a brother from Mali or a brother from Malawi, the person must be dealt with in a way that you deal with everyone
equally,
because it is extremely flawed to say that Zimbabweans in our country are the ones who are solely responsible for criminal activities. They are doing those things, yes, we acknowledge, but it's not everyone. And those ones who are found to be involved in criminal acts must be taken to account. Same thing across all other nations of Africa, because we do know that there's free movement in other African countries. So if maybe they find a South African brother, maybe in Nigeria, doing certain things, the person must be dealt with according to the laws of that particular country. Ultimately, we must get to a point where we start to love one another, because it appears that we don't really love each other.
Love is a big thing.
Absolutely. We seem to adore and prioritize people who are coming from other continents like Europe. When we see white people, it appears as if like those are the ones that are the real people that you must look up to. Africa has a great potential. There's many resources. It is the youngest continent in terms of the population. There are so many young people here. And obviously, young people are the future of any nation.
Definitely.
So we have the necessary resources. There's a certain mineral, I don't know if I should call it a mineral or what, called cotin or something like that, that they use to manufacture, I think it's smartphones. It's found here in the continent of Africa. We have gold, we have diamonds, we have so many things in the continent that we can use to ensure that Africa becomes a powerhouse. Most of these countries that are powerful, they rely on the resources that they get from Africa. They don't really have that. And when you are united, that's when you are able to then negotiate with these powerful countries like the United States, like China, to ensure that Africa becomes developed as a nation.
Yeah.
But if you are divided, you are going to find the
Yeah.
situation whereby a country like Botswana will not necessarily be on the same table and negotiate with a big country like the United States of America, because in terms of how huge they are not the same. America is very big, and Botswana is just a small country that cannot sit on the same negotiation table with a country like America. Let me give you another example. China on its own has a population of over 1 billion people. One country, China, 1 billion people. Africa as a continent has a population of slightly over 1 billion as well. So you can see that these two are the same. It's a billion.
Continent and a country.
Continent in a country. It's a billion and a billion. Now you want South Africa with a population of 60 million, not even 100 million, to negotiate with China.
There's no way.
There's absolutely no way. But if you are united. As a country, we'll then be able to negotiate with a country like China. Our population is the same. Maybe resources not necessarily the same, but we can say this is what we are offering. What are you then offering us? We can then be able to have an equal relationship when we are negotiating certain things. That is why Africa was united. If you don't unite, you then perish, because the powerhouses are then going to be able to dictate and say that no, you cannot tell us anything. This is what we
are scattered.
Exactly. That is why now you have countries like America saying that no, you must move away from coal, you must do this, you must do that, dictating affairs of African countries because we are not united.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So I believe the elections are really going to play a huge role. So I just want you to unpack how important 2024 elections are.
Well, they're extremely important.
Yeah.
They're extremely important and the most exciting. You see, this year is the year of elections. Generally in the world. China, I don't know if it's China, no, not China. Russia went to elections, the United States went to elections, Senegal went to elections, South Africa is going to elections.
Sure.
But in our context here in South Africa, the 2024 elections are the most important elections.
Sure.
More important than ever. That's why even before this month of May, before the IEC could cut in terms of voter registrations, we embarked on a massive voter registration campaign as the SRC and other political leaders at the University of Limpopo to get young people to register to vote, because we fully understand the importance of these elections. South Africa is a country that is on the brink of collapse if we are going to leave things the way they are. If young people don't go and vote, the country will literally collapse, because the people who are in charge now are old people who don't necessarily care about the future. Even if they can act like they care, they won't be there to experience the future. So it is then upon us to rescue our country's young people. That's why we said young people go register to vote. The elections are extremely important in a sense that for the first time in 30 years, the ANC is definitely not going to get more than 50% majority. I don't want to be political, but the ANC is definitely not going to be above 50%. That is a fact. So young people must actively participate in this democracy and say that we don't have jobs. We went to universities, we are not being employed. We are trying to start up small businesses. Load shedding.
We're not funded. Load shedding.
People must not say no. There's been more than 30 days without load shedding and try to act like it's something that is worth celebrating.
Because it's a short-term thing. The long term is we have load shedding.
Yes, and we're ultimately going to pay for it. For now, we're enjoying the benefits of not having load shedding, but we're going to pay for it. There's absolutely no way that the ruling party that is responsible for this man-made load shedding was going to continue with load shedding ahead of elections. There's no way. They were just going to have to make sure that for this period of elections, let's ensure that there's electricity, so that the citizens of South Africa are not frustrated. Because if imagine now you are going to vote tomorrow, you did not even bath because there was no water, there was no electricity. There's no way you're going to vote for the ruling party. So they knew that here we have to ensure that at least something is provided in the interim. We make sure that there's electricity, so that when the people go to vote, they vote for us. Immediately after elections, we then go back to normal. Stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 6, possibly stage 7 and 8, because that is also possible. So young people must not be taken away by what they see now. They must always consider the challenges that they had. They must look at their qualifications and say that I went to school, this is what I have, but I'm unable to get a job, because jobs are being given to friends, jobs are being given to associates, jobs are being sold. There's no way. I have to make a change. And the only way for you to make a change is to go to the polls
voting.
and then vote for your party of choice.
Yeah. So there's we do know the importance of voting, right? But there's young people or other people that are very indecisive about voting because apparently there is no change.
Yeah.
So how would you beseech them into voting? But it's
I want
make
to
it practical.
look. If you know that you're a politician and you are sitting on a political chair and there is prospects that you are going to lose that political chair to someone else, you are going to ensure that you get as many votes from your people to maintain that chair.
Sure.
Now, if people are going to say that, no, I don't see a change, there's no need for me to vote, you are maintaining the status quo. You are not removing anyone. Because the one who's on the chair will ensure that they stay on the chair. They will go all out. Family, friends, associates, they promise people all these kind of things. We'll give you jobs, we'll give you whatever, vote for us. And they are going to stay on that chair. But if you are saying that I don't see a change, that is precisely why you must vote for change.
Sure.
You must then go and vote for a party that will ensure that there's a change. And you move away from what you've been conformed to. Like, I don't really understand why someone would say, no, they don't do anything for us, I'm not going to vote. There are so many political parties. Now we even have independent candidates. I can just wake up and say, no, as Mamabolo, I feel like I can be the president of South Africa.
Sure.
I register with the IEC, I get the required number of signatures, I talk to my people, if I win their votes, I become the president. It's possible in South Africa to become a president like that. You get elected through the National Assembly, you are an independent candidate, you get elected. So people must participate in democracy. People must actively participate in democracy. If you look at the country like the United States, active participants of their democracy. They go to vote, not even far in the United States. Let's just go here in countries like Senegal. You saw the elections. Many young people went to the polls because
for change.
They wanted change. And that is what is happening. Even a country like Zimbabwe, much as the ZANU-PF has been dominating, but young people in Zimbabwe go to vote. People do take their democracy serious. I don't know why here in South Africa people are not taking democracy serious. Maybe they are just used to getting things for free. Maybe everything is just free. That's why they don't see any need to go and vote, because in any event they will still get social grants. In any event, basic education to some extent will still be free. Maybe they are comfortable with that. But
comfortability.
We must be able to preach the mentality of change and say that this is what we must do. We must actively go and participate in our democracy and vote for change. We must remove the ANC from power. That is what will bring change to this nation. We don't want leaders who are cowards. We don't want leaders who are indecisive. South Africa is very rich in terms of minerals.
Very rich.
And we cannot be the most unequal country in the world. It cannot be the case.
With a higher rate of unemployment, that is really devastating.
It can't be the case. Yeah.
I'm sorry about that,
No,
guys. I should vote. I think you heard him. He literally said it mouthful. It's very
X
imperative.
is very important.
That X is very important. It's very imperative that you vote. So as the youth leadership, what pearls of wisdom would you share with us, the youth, your fellow peers also?
Well, I think in anything that you do, like this is also the message that we gave to the graduates of the University of Limpopo now in the recent graduation season, the class of 2023. That in general, people must just be tolerant of other individuals. We're living in a diverse society where we have people who are not necessarily sharing the same goals, missions, and values with us, even beliefs. So we just have to tolerate other individuals, accept that we are different people, and at all times be ethical leaders or ethical individuals. We must at all times conform to the norms and standards of whatever field is confining us. For example, if maybe you are in the workplace, you are a teacher, there are regulations to that effect. Make sure that you don't do certain things that are not allowed or expected of a teacher. I liked what the police commissioner of KZN said when he said that police must cease from political activities. When you are a police official, you must never be seen to be actively participating in politics. The only time you must participate in politics is when you are going to vote for your party of choice. You must be a strict police official. And that is what we want. We want people who are extremely ethical, who will not have their characters being questioned. At all times, we must be able to hold ourselves to the best norms and standards, and accept that we are living among different people, and at all times be patriotic. If you are fortunate enough, there's nothing wrong with just taking a 50 rand and just going to a local supermarket and just buying bread and maybe something and give someone to give it to someone who is in need of that. That is what we must do at all times. Just be patriotic. Like even a few days ago, someone approached me. At first I said I don't have money, but I then thought, no, I can't say that because I know that I have it. I just did something and I tried to assist where I can. We should just at all times think that people are coming from different backgrounds. It's a very, very difficult world that we are living in. Like I said, issues of unemployment, people don't have jobs. People lost their jobs.
And to interject you, I'm sure you get a lot of requests, DMs.
Many. Especially with that Facebook group of mine. That I have many people come to my inbox seeking assistance. And we try to assist where we can. We always try to assist. And I think maybe we can just even use this platform to just really thank the students of the University of Limpopo, because in most cases someone would come to my inbox and say, just post my story as anonymous. I take it, I paste it there. I post it there on my Facebook group, and people will come in and help. Even with the recent graduations, people were doing makeup for free. They were giving clothes. They were doing all this.
That is humanity.
Many people would say that I don't have electricity. Here's my meter number. People would buy electricity through that particular group of ours there, and those are students of the University of Limpopo who understand that if they are fortunate, they must help the next person.
No, let them smell their flowers, literally. That is amazing.
So that is what we must always do as people. Whenever we have a chance to assist others, let us just ensure that we do exactly that.
And that is unity. I wish that was happening with the same, like with the country, the continent-wise, what you're doing in the University of Limpopo. That is amazing.
Absolutely.
And where to from here?
Well, now we just focused on ensuring that we deliver to the students. That is our sole focus at the moment. We just have to also ensure that on a personal note, we are able to attain our qualifications. I'm still a student. I must ensure that I also do what is expected of a student. And beyond SRC, I want to continue to serve the community, particularly the community of Mankweng. That is a community that has contributed immensely in my upbringing. I want to continue to serve, and I'll continue pushing to just ensure that we ultimately get to a point where we are saving the entire nation of South Africa. That is our ultimate goal. We want to ensure that we bring change to the country that we dearly love. This country is a country that cannot afford any kind of disappointments. There are so many people who died for our freedom. And we must always remember the selfless sacrifices that they made, and ensure that as young people, we make them proud wherever they are, to say that this is the change that you wanted to see, and we are the people who are delivering that change. We will do our best to fight against the spirit of corruption, nepotism, and anything else that is characterizing our public sector, and even the private sector, because it's also corrupt. We'll do our best to ensure that we put measures in place to regulate the private sector and avoid corrupt practices. We must have an ethical country where corruption is not tolerated by any means. A country like China continues to inspire us because they do deliver to their people. And corruption, where it's seen, it is dealt with. Here we have normalized corrupt acts, and we are going to be the youth and the generation that is going to fight against corruption that is stolen from our people. We are going to ensure that the resources that we have, we maximize them and deliver to the people of South Africa, and by extension the African continent.
Still a long way, eh?
Yeah, no, definitely still a long way, but it's extremely possible.
And I love the fact that whatever that you do, there's a change. You know, there's a progress, there's change to whatever that you do. So as long as we are keen and we are conscious about what we're looking forward to as a country. Sure. So what words do you have for fellow Africans?
Well, fellow Africans must continue loving each other. That is the most important thing. They must continue to love each other. They must continue to be united against any kind of force that may seek to divide them. Africa is the only continent that we have. Africa is looking forward to a future that is going to be determined by people of Africa. He's not looking forward to a future that is going to be determined by external forces.
Yeah.
African solutions for African problems, and that can only be done by Africans. Let's continue to love each other. Let's not try to divide each other by calling each other Zimbabweans, Malawian, whatever. We are one. We are all
brothers
African
and
brothers.
sisters.
Absolutely. What makes us clear that we are one is the color of our skin.
Sure.
We should not call each other foreigners and hate each other for petty reasons. Where crime is identified, crime must be dealt with as crime, and we must continue to love one another and ensure that we develop our nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was mouthful, guys. I hope you really deep dived with us and you got something, engraved it to your heart. Please go and vote. Do not forget.
Definitely.
And this is for you. If there's any way you'd love to support us, guys, you can order our coffee mugs, you can order our t-shirts, our jackets, and be part of the movement. Do not miss out. You can't afford to miss out. Thank you so much. Until the next episode.